Salut tout le monde, bienvenue au PodcAls. On essaie quelque chose un peu différent aujourd'hui. On y va en vidéo, vous pouvez l'écouter en audio aussi, mais on essaye, si vous êtes en train de nous regarder, vous avez sûrement constaté qu'on a un nouveau setup ici dans notre studio. J'ai mon collègue et mon grand chum Sam qui est en train de filmer et on va faire le balado en vidéo. Donc, merci beaucoup d'être là. Merci d'être à l'écoute. Évidemment, on est en train d'enregistrer mercredi après-midi. On a un gros match jeudi, demain, au stade Percival Molson. Les Argonauts vont venir à Montréal affronter les Alouettes. Déjà la deuxième fois cette saison, 2 fois en 7 semaines que les Argonauts viennent à Montréal pour affronter les Alouettes. Et évidemment, les Alouettes ont gagné le premier match lors de la semaine numéro 1. Premier match de la saison, les Alouettes ont été capables de remporter. On a une émission quand même assez chargée. Évidemment, on fait toujours les entrevues en français, de l'analyse en anglais. Ça continue, on ne change pas. Davis Alexander sera notre invité un peu plus tard, dans une couple de minutes. Et on va aussi on va aller à Boise, parler à un ancien des Alouettes qui a souffert d'une maladie, d'un gros problème à l'âge de 40 ans. Je vais vous en parler plus un peu plus tard dans l'émission. Il va passer faire une entrevue avec moi aussi après l'entrevue de Davis Alexander, mais c'est toute une histoire. J'aimerais ça que vous écoutez son histoire et son message qu'il a pour vous. So, as always, folks, as you can probably tell, we're going video this week. We're trying to add a different wrinkle to the podcast. I have my boy Sam behind the camera that's pushing all the right buttons, doing the best he can with what he has. But nothing changes. The analysis will be mostly done in French, as we always do. And then we have a couple of interviews today, which is a little different than usual. We'll have Davis Alexander join me here in studio in just a few minutes' time. And after that, we'll talk via satellite, as the kids like to say. We'll speak to a former Alouette offensive lineman who nearly lost his life, nearly died unexpectedly at the age of 40. Thankfully, he's doing better. He's okay, but we'll talk to that guest a little bit later on in the program. But we'll start, as we always do, with some analysis and some game notes. Donc, des bonnes nouvelles cette semaine à l'entraînement. On était en mesure de voir Davis Alexander et Austin Mack pratiquer à tous les jours. Ils étaient là sans restriction aux 3 pratiques de la semaine. Nick Callender a été limité dimanche. Il a été en mesure de pratiquer lundi et mardi. Et Nick Callender sera de retour, le bloqueur à gauche. Donc, c'est 3 gros morceaux en attaque qui reviennent. Je pense que Des Holmes, lui qui a remplacé Nick Callender, a quand même fait du très bon boulot. Mais de retrouver Nick Callender, c'est quand même un joueur étoile. Il a été sur l'équipe d'étoiles de l'Est en 2023 et 2024. C'est le bloqueur à gauche lorsque les Alouettes ont gagné la Coupe Grey. Donc, il a quand même une belle expérience. C'est un vétéran de cette ligue, 31 ans. Donc, le fait qu'il soit de retour, c'est gros. Austin Mack, je n'ai pas à vous le dire. C'est encore un autre gros morceau qui arrive, qui retourne. Et Davis Alexander, c'est le corps étoile, le corps de la concession qui sera de retour. Et on va en parler avec Davis dans quelques minutes parce que j'aimerais lui poser la question. Mais 7 victoires, aucune défaite pour commencer sa carrière. Il y a un autre corps arrière de l'histoire de cette ligue qui a été en mesure de commencer avec 8 victoires consécutives. C'est Danny McManus, l'ancien corps arrière des Tiger Cats de Hamilton, de Edmonton aussi. J'ai-tu le droit de dire Eskimos? On peut-tu le dire ça en nombre? Oui, tu me dis oui, ok. Mais l'ancien corps des Eskimos d'Edmonton, Sam il a l'air nerveux un peu. Tu touches... Oui, mais il n'a pas joué pour les Elks, il a joué pour les Eskimos. Mais aujourd'hui, c'est un fait que c'est les Elks. Mais Danny McManus, qui est au temple de la renommée de la LCF, c'est le seul de l'histoire de la Ligue. Et la Ligue, ça fait longtemps qu'elle est là. Avoir commencé 8 victoires, aucune défaite. On va parler à Davis Alexander de ça. Est-ce qu'il se met un peu plus de pression pour se rendre là? Parce que s'il est en mesure de gagner jeudi soir, il sera le deuxième quart de l'histoire de la Ligue à être 8 victoires, aucune défaite. Et là, ça veut dire que la semaine prochaine à Calgary, il pourrait aller atteindre le record. OK. Donc, ça, c'est fait. J'aimerais juste parler, il y a beaucoup de monde, je ne sais pas si vous l'avez manqué ou pas, mon trépied a fait la jasette, a fait le tour des médias sociaux. Si vous ne l'avez pas vu, mon trépied s'est fait écraser par les Lions de la Colombie-Britannique pendant le brawl de la fin de la rencontre il y a 2 semaines. On va avoir un nouveau trépied, il n'y a pas de problème, tout est beau. Le joueur fautif, le joueur Touré qui a tout commencé, qui a tout parti ça à la fin de la rencontre, qui a été suspendu pour un match. On a 2 joueurs, Isaac Berglund et MJ Sherman, qui ont été qui ont été mis à l'amende. Donc, ils vont devoir payer, mais aucune suspension pour ces joueurs-là. Donc, ça, c'est réglé. Et l'autre chose, avant qu'on passe à des questions que vous m'avez envoyées, vous pouvez m'envoyer vos questions via Twitter ou via Facebook. On va en répondre à quelques-unes. Davis Alexander revient, mais Tyson Philpott va être game time decision pour le match de demain. Ça veut dire qu'il va prendre l'échauffement et on va savoir plus ou moins s'il va jouer après l'échauffement. C'est ça les coachs vont déterminer. Donc, on va voir si Philpott... Il n'a pas été en mesure de pratiquer dimanche. Il a pratiqué lundi. Mardi, sa séance est venue à échéance un peu avant la fin. Donc, on va prendre une décision jeudi soir. J'imagine, sur s'il est disponible pour ce match-là. Donc, on ne sait pas si Tyson Philpott va être en mesure de jouer. On dirait que Philpott et Mac, depuis le retour de Mac de la NFL, ne sont pas en mesure de jouer en même temps très souvent. Donc, quand les deux sont de la formation, cette année, c'est 3 victoires, aucune défaite. Mais c'est dommage que si Philpott n'est pas en mesure de jouer, c'est dommage que les deux ne soient pas en santé en même temps. OK, on va passer à vos questions. Il y a quelques commentaires aussi, mais on va passer à travers quelques questions. Je vais en répondre une couple et on va continuer avec l'entrevue de Davis Alexander dans quelques minutes. OK. Normand qui écrit, il dit « Bon matin, je viens de voir que Sean Lemon est éligible à un retour. Est-ce que tu penses que les Alouettes seraient intéressés de le ramener? » Écoute, on ne le sait pas. C'est sûr que tout ça est sorti un peu de nulle part pour moi. On savait, ça a été rapporté par les médias traditionnels qu'il y avait le droit à une rencontre avec le commissaire Stuart Johnston. Cette rencontre-là, je pense qu'il y avait le droit de l'avoir dès le 4 juillet. Je ne sais pas quand est-ce que ça a eu lieu. Clairement, ça a eu lieu. Mais là, il pourrait revenir. Une des choses qui est importante à réaliser ici, c'est qu'il n'appartient pas aux Alouettes en ce moment. Il est agent libre. Donc, il faudrait le signer à un nouveau contrat. Et aussitôt qu'on le signe, c'est sûr qu'il y a une suspension additionnelle de 2 matchs qui va s'ajouter. Donc, s'il signe, mettons, en fin de semaine, il va falloir qu'il rate les 2 prochains matchs. Et c'est pas mal ça. Donc, c'est sûr que est-ce qu'il a été un excellent joueur ici? Absolument. Est-ce que les joueurs et les entraîneurs dans le vestiaire l'adorent? Absolument. Écoute, sans Sean Lemon, c'est un jeu d'équipe, là, je comprends, mais sans Sean Lemon, ou l'acquisition de Sean Lemon à la mi-saison en 2023, je ne sais pas si les Alouettes gagnent la Coupe Grey. Ça a été une petite partie du championnat, mais il y a eu un gros impact. Lui, la signature de Darnell Sankey au mois de septembre aussi en 2023, ça a vraiment ajouté beaucoup de profondeur et des playmakers en défensive. Donc, est-ce que Lemon va être de retour? J'ai aucune idée. Jason Maas en a parlé pendant son point de presse ce matin. Et il a dit qu'il n'y avait aucun commentaire. Le joueur n'appartient pas au club. Et pour le moment, Sean Lemon est agent libre. Est-ce qu'il va revenir? C'est une possibilité, j'imagine. Mais j'ai aucune idée. Il n'y a rien de confirmé. Donc, il y a plusieurs questions. Côté Sean Lemon là, que le monde veut savoir s'il revient. C'est ma réponse à la question. Selon moi, j'ai aucune idée. Mais est-ce que c'est un joueur qui a été vraiment apprécié à Montréal? 100%. Prochaine question. On va aller avec... Would you rest Alexander one more game to get to 100%? I would need him more at the end of the season. That's from Anthony. Merci, Anthony. Écoute, est-ce qu'on aurait dû... Est-ce qu'on devrait reposer, laisser une autre semaine de congé à Davis Alexander? On va lui poser la question. Mais selon moi, s'il est en santé pour jouer, il faut qu'il joue là. C'est quand même tous des gros matchs. C'est un match contre un rivaux de la division Est. S'il est en mesure de jouer, on a une équipe médicale hyper bonne ici. Les coachs, le joueur sont tous au courant des possibilités et des risques. C'est ça. Donc, je pense pas... Si Davis n'était pas en mesure de jouer, et Davis l'a mentionné, je pense, après la pratique de dimanche, il a dit que si c'était un match des séries la semaine dernière contre les Lions, il aurait joué. Mais là, tu lui donnes 2 semaines de plus de congé. Je pense que s'il ne serait pas en mesure de jouer, je pense que les Alouettes l'ont démontré. Là, ils ont donné quand même 3 semaines de congé avec le bye week. S'il n'était pas en santé, il n'aurait pas joué. Donc ça, je leur fais confiance. Et on va prendre une dernière question de Nick qui dit « Do you see the Als bringing back the Angry Bird uniforms for a special throwback night, whether it's this season or in the near future?" Nick, that's a good question. The Angry Bird logo, that's the logo I grew up on. Love it. I like it a lot. It was, to me, it's when I think of that logo, I think of Anthony Calvillo, I think of Ben Cahoon, I think of Mike Pringle. It's a logo from 96 to 2018, 2017 that is special to a lot of Alouettes fans, especially guys like me, mid-30s, a little bit older than me. I think that's the logo that you grew up on, like the fans in the 70s that grew up with the Delta. I love the Delta too. It's not the one I grew up with, but I think it's a great logo, and we saw them bring it back. The one thing I'll say is, to answer your question, I don't know. It would be cool for them to bring it back. And I'm just thinking, if you look at it, the 1977 Grey Cup, there's going to be, there's a 50th anniversary of that. The 2002 Grey Cup is going to be a 25th anniversary. Both of those fall in 2027. Would you like to, do you bring back the Delta for part of that year? Maybe. Do you bring back the Angry Bird logo? That could be a possibility as well for the 25th anniversary of the 2002 Grey Cup Championship. So, that would be cool. But it would be interesting to see, because you always love the throwbacks. I think the Deltas from that they played with last year were incredible. So it would be fun to see that Angry Bird with the silver helmet again. I can't believe I'm saying that it's retro, but I guess that's how old I am now. But it is a retro jersey. Thanks a lot, Nick, for the question. OK, on va prendre une petite pause. Quand on revient sur le PodcAls avec Joey Alfieri, on va parler au corps arrière des Alouettes de Montréal, Davis Alexander.
Tell us how you're feeling right now, with the game tomorrow.
Yeah, just so excited to be back out there with the guys. I feel blessed. I feel just ready to go, and can't wait to play in front of these fans. They've been electric these past 2 games the past 2 home games we had, and it's time to put on a show again.
Yeah, you guys have had a 2-game losing streak. Obviously, you didn't play both of the games.
Yeah.
Well, how important is it, to put an end to that streak so it doesn't become a 3-game losing streak, especially now Hamilton, is in first position?
Yeah, of course. But, I've told you a ton, we try and treat every game the same. I'd be lying if I said this one isn't a little different, because it is Toronto. It's a divisional rival. I've said it a lot. They don't like us. We don't like them. But in the end, you still gotta keep your thoughts calm, and you got to go out there and give yourself the best chance to execute. So whatever we got to do to end the 2-game skid, we'll make it happen.
And this is the first time that you guys playing, a team for a second time this season. Does that give you more confidence, since you played against that defense earlier during the year, or it's been, 5 weeks now, or so? Is there anything you can take from that first game? Yeah,
I mean, there's definitely stuff that you look at, and but I'm sure they're gonna have their adjustments, and I've said it a bunch. Like in our offense, it's all about having your eyes in the right spot, and we feel like we have an answer for everything that they're going to bring us, and we're a confident group, and we're ready to go out and show that.
Are you aware that you're 1 win away from tying a CFL record?
Yeah, I mean, it's been talked about. I think it's a very cool thing. Obviously, I would love to have the record, But to me, it's most important about getting back on track, 1-0, and yes, sir.
What do you remember from that game against Toronto earlier this season?
It was electric in there. I had like 25 or 30 family members, friends fly out from, all over West Coast, East Coast. And I just remember the fans feel like they were waiting 6 months just like we were, 7 months just like we were. And then, it was, felt like I used my legs a little bit more that game. I wasn't as maybe in rhythm as I was, the next 2 games with Ottawa and Edmonton. So hopefully just trying to get back into that rhythm. But if I have to use my legs, I'll use my legs.
What are some things you maybe looked at while you were on the shelf? And was there things that looked at improving or,
Yeah, I mean, just for myself personally, I'm not going to say I was playing perfect, but I was getting hot, and I was pretty accurate with the football, and I was just trying to make sure I was staying in rhythm. Even during those times where sometimes I wasn't even going to the practice field, but just making sure you're still locked into the playbook. We change our calls every single week, so. You got to make sure your brain's still active, and you can't just use those 2 weeks or whatever to take some time off. But and then just keep working on your leadership, trying to provide a spark for these guys if they need it. I know that they don't, but if they need it, I'm there for them.
Now that you're planning to play a full season, do you have to learn a bit about picking your spots in terms of maybe rushing, so you're staying on the field?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
For sure. I mean, it's like it's been talked about a lot in the off season. I think Danny was calling it like cowboy football that I was playing. I thought I did a pretty good job, honestly, so far to start the year. I think I only have 6 rushes on the season. But yeah, you got to be smart. But at the same time, I'm a competitor, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. Given certain circumstances. But yeah, it's just the hamstring was an unfortunate thing that I had just been dealing with, and showed back up, and we feel pretty good about it now.
You just said you are competitors. So how do you feel when you are not able to win your team when they are loose?
Yeah, it's a tough feeling, but I mean, as a leader on the team, you got to try and be there for the guys. You got to be there for the offense, defense, special teams, and I don't want to say you feel helpless, because you can always help, and energy, all that stuff, X's and O's, be a different set of eyes. But, you're definitely dying to get back on the field and play with your brothers.
Salut tout le monde, on est de retour au PodcAls et c'est notre portion entrevue en anglais cette semaine. On a Davis Alexander, le corps arrière partant des Alouettes, qui revient après une absence de 2 matchs et demi quasiment, parce qu'il est sorti lors du 3e quart à Edmonton. Davis, welcome. Thanks for doing this again. Second appearance on the PodcAls already. You're leading the league.
Yes, sir. I'm happy to be here anytime.
So how does it feel? How are you feeling? Not the podcast. The podcast feels great, I'm sure. But how do you feel physically going into this week?
Yeah, no, I definitely feel like the 2 weeks and plus the bye week, I feel like I'm ready to go, ready to be back, and just can't wait to get back out there. It's a different role when you're on the sideline, but definitely can't wait to be in front of our fans again.
So not every injured player travels on the road. You did. You traveled to Hamilton even though you didn't play. Like, I see you on the sideline talking to Maas. Like, what do you do? Like, in what way is that like fulfilling to you? And like, what are you doing on the sideline? Are you helping? Are you trying to stay out of the way? Like, what are you trying to do on the sideline?
Yeah, I mean, first off, I'll just say it like this. Like, I feel like football is my life. So I would rather be in Hamilton with our guys. Going to war with them. Not physically, but than just sitting at home, right? But on the sideline, I try and, whatever McLeod, whatever Caleb, whatever James need, I try and be there for them as far as a set of eyes, coverages, whatever I'm seeing. You don't ever want to try and do too much, because every quarterback has their own sort of deal. And then with Coach Maas, I've been doing it since actually my first year with AC. When he was calling the plays, I'd watch the iPad with him. So we just watch the iPad together, talk about what we're seeing, possibly maybe some plays we can get to, some plays maybe that Coach Maas, just a gentle reminder, hey, we still have this up versus this certain look. So just gentle stuff. You're not trying to be too much, because again, it's not your show. You're not playing, but just want to be there for the guys. And then outside of that, defense, special teams, just try and fire them up, bring the energy, and let them know I have their back.
But how tough it? Like you prepare, like the off season's long. You prepared a lot. You came into camp in great shape. To have to watch 2.5 games from the sideline, like what's the feeling? Like what are you feeling in that moment?
It's frustration, but it's also, every player knows the work that they put in. Right. So I sat back there, and you're frustrated, but I knew how hard I worked, and it's just one of those unfortunate things that just kind of caught up to me a little bit, just maybe a little overload or something like that. It's frustrating, but you understand that there's a bigger picture, and thankfully it was only at the time week 4, so just ready to get back out there and be with the guys.
Because we have like a mailbag segment every week, and a lot of the fans, it wasn't even questions this week. It's like is Davis coming back too soon because the team lost 2 in a row, and then you feel like you have to come back after the bye week? Like I know you and I talked about this. Like you're not rushing anything. Mm-hmm. Like you mentioned this to the media this week. Like you're as close to 100% as you can get, but you'll only really know how it truly feels on Thursday night, tomorrow night.
100%. So it's definitely gonna be something that I'll feel out in warm-ups. But yeah, I feel ready to go, and great week of practice. Felt like we were great on offense, and just excited to be back out there.
You still get butterflies before game? Like what's your feeling pregame? Like were you ever the type to? I know there's some guys like throw up. Some guys.
I'm not a thrower upper. No? Let's see. I go into the game and I'm pretty calm, but calm that's about to burst through a cage and tear something up. So I go in and I'm a big pre-workout guy. As soon as I get there, I take 1.5, 2 scoops of pre-workout. Go warm up with the guys. Get a good sweat on. Try and calm down a little bit, but I'm pretty antsy. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to, run out our little cage thing. It's pretty cool. I love running, going around.
Cage thing.
High-fiving all the fans.
Yeah.
And then right before, I love high-fiving all the fans right before we run out the tunnel. So I try and stay pretty as calm as I can, but as soon as I get out on the field, that's when my calmness sets in.
Yeah.
But before, I'm amped up. I'm trying to get the guys going. I make sure I dap everybody up, and yeah. Because
you look like, just from the outside looking in, you look like a guy who's excited, but a guy who can control it. Mm-hmm. That's how it looks to me. Is that fair?
So I used to be actually terrified of taking pre-workout before a game.
Really?
Because I thought I was going to be too amped up. Because naturally, when the competitive juices flow.
So the pre-workout gives you it just kind of gives you a.
I feel like it just puts me in just a different zone, and I felt like as soon as I was able to control it, it went straight to my brain, and I was just so locked in, and remembering. All our certain looks and certain plays and hots and all that stuff, but it took a little bit for me to.
So I shouldn't take a scooper to a pre-workout before the post-game show tomorrow.
I think you should, and you should scoop it too. So it injects it right into the veins. But I'm probably the guys. They always, especially Cole, they always make fun of me. I probably take 600, 750 milligrams of caffeine.
Really?
From the moment I get to the stadium to halftime.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So if you ever see this little bottle
on the sideline, you'll sip some too.
Sometimes I'll bring a little bottle out there of it'll be in a water bottle. Yeah. Been calling it freak juice, but. Yeah.
So no Mark Sanchez hot dog on the sideline or anything like that?
No. I wanted to in the Hamilton game when I wasn't playing. I was really hungry. But no. I don't like to eat a lot. Before the game I'll have one big meal.
Really?
One big breakfast at 12. And then
you're not going to touch anything.
No, I'll have whatever, strawberries, bananas, granolas. But
okay, so you'll have lunch and then that's it.
Yeah, maybe a little brunch and that's it.
We had Tyler Sneed on the show a couple weeks ago. He was talking about being your roommate.
Yep.
And how many positives and very few negatives.
Very few negatives.
I asked him if you made the bed, and he says he never checks. He says he could be better at making the bed. So who has the top bunk? And it's a 1 bedroom, right?
Yeah, 1 bedroom, half bath. No, I'm kidding. We got 2 bedrooms, but I will say when we first moved in, because we got it furnished,
Right.
for his room,
Was it kid set?
It was twin beds. It was twin bunk beds. We had to make a special request. To get him.
Did he sleep on the top bunk that night or the bottom bunk by
No,
himself?
luckily by the time we got in there, they had already made the arrangement. But when we sent it in and we got accepted without knowing whether they could
Right.
switch the beds. But they were really nice, and they got him a nice big bed, and it's a really cool setup for us.
So how does did you guys like have a big meeting before like all this went down, or the first night like, hey, I do the dishes, you do the garbage, or does nobody do either? Like, how does that
No, our
work?
place is really clean.
Oh,
actually. Yeah. We were actually just talking about it yesterday because we cleaned up, and we're like honestly pretty proud of us because we've kept this place pretty spotless, and we have
Good.
like white countertops and all that
Okay.
stuff. But I will say, like, neither of us really cook, so we get like meal prep stuff.
Okay, that's all. That counts.
Yeah.
But you guys also don't really have time to, you don't really have time to cook, do you?
I mean,
You're in here.
Some
Like, what time
do.
do you get into the stadium?
he
practice.
He comes with Tyler, rides in the car with me.
Sure.
And we get here at like 5:45.
Goodness.
Except for day 4, he sleeps in that day, but I still come in to watch
5:45.
watch film
Wow.
with AC. But and then we usually get back around 4:35,
Wow.
4:30 or 5. So it's like a
It's like
11-hour
a
day.
11, 12-hour
Yeah.
day every day.
Mm-hmm.
But then he was saying that you guys like will maybe watch tape together at home too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
so
yeah.
like it's not really that you guys leave here, but the grind doesn't really. the
Yeah,
prep
but
doesn't
it's like a
stop.
chill debrief.
Right.
Like, it's kind of like watching a game like on TV, right? Where it's like, that was a cool play, or we're not like, we're breaking it down,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's like, it's not like, hey,
relaxed.
get your eyes on the TV, son.
So who's the son? Him?
He knows.
Oh, he knows. Okay, good.
He knows. I'm not gonna say who, but
That's
he knows.
fine. Better is he a better receiver? Or is he a better roommate?
I would. He's definitely. I mean, he's a talented receiver, so he's a better receiver. He's not a bad roommate by any means. I love it because I can beat him at any video game we play.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but he thinks he's better
He
than
thinks
me.
he's good?
I think it's just an ego thing, maybe. But yeah, he knows he can't mess with me.
Argos. I mean, you saw them once before.
Mm-hmm.
On a more serious note, I know that's week 1, so it's kind of different.
Mm-hmm.
But what are you expecting from this game?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see what they do with me coming off the injury. I know a lot of teams like to kind of heat up the quarterback if they don't feel like he can move. So, again, I honestly don't try and read too much into it because if you dive into one, it's kind of like putting all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
If they could come out in something totally different than what we're expecting, and then people start to panic, or you're like, what? We prepared for this. So we try and stay true to ourselves, and keep your eyes in the right spot, and we feel like we have answers for everything.
I know Mac's back. It's not that I don't want to talk about Mac. It's just like I feel like the receivers get a lot of love, but Nick Callender's also back, and I'm just curious the relationship between the quarterback and his left tackle, and what that's like, and how close are you guys, and the fact that he's back, how big is that? Because I think everybody, no disrespect Austin, I think everybody knows the importance of Austin Mac,
Yeah.
playmaking ability.
Yeah, I mean, Callender, I love the guy to death. Since I've been here, I've tried to really, really had a great relationship with all our offensive linemen, honestly. But I also do have to tip my cap to Des Holmes. He played phenomenal in the absence of Nick. Obviously, Nick's an all-star. We're so happy to have him back. And, he's a guy, and I know he trusts us and he trusts the offense. And he just you want Nick on your team, and you want him battling against those defensive ends.
I got, I think I have it here. Where is it? I have the final stat line for you tomorrow. I got the script, and they asked me for my input. You let me know what you think of this. I have 27 for 32. The 3 of those incompletions are not your fault, by the way. I have you at 327 yards passing. I have you at 35 yards rushing. I have 2 touchdown passes, no interceptions. Obviously, I was going to sit here and tell you're going to throw a pick. But I have a rushing touchdown as well. You okay with that?
I'm great with that.
Anything you'd like me to send back in?
No,
is that okay?
That script works pretty well for me. I think we were able to run the ball pretty well against them the first game too. So hopefully we can get that going again. And
they give up the most yards on the ground per game, I think. So, 124.8, I think.
Yeah, hopefully we can put that to use. But
the rain affect you at all? Like the because it's supposed to rain tomorrow. Does that change anything? Because you can throw the ball pretty good in the rain too. Like you've seen you throw in the rain.
I mean, I grew up Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
The people that don't know, it rains 285 days out of 365 days a year. So a lot of my games were played in the rain. I will say the rain out here is a little different. It's a little harder rain, whereas
harder rain. It's more
bigger,
like
bigger drops.
Really. We've never had anyone on the podcast break down the rain before.
Oh yeah, I can.
That's
do that
great.
for
Go
you.
ahead.
Yeah.
Take it away.
West Coast, it's just constantly raining like all day.
But smaller drops.
For sure.
Interesting.
They're like almost misty.
Right.
I mean, obviously, you can have your torrential downpours, but that's what it usually is. But no, I've played in a handful of rain games. I got big hands, so that usually helps with the rain. But yeah, I don't see it being a huge issue. It definitely won't change our game plan.
Doesn't change at all. So you guys won't run the ball any more or any less.
No.
All right, fair enough. Well, congrats on getting back. 8-0 to start. Do you think about that at all? It's only been done once before. I know what you're gonna say, that you don't think about it, but. Like, are you going to be able, if it gets done, are you going to be able to appreciate it after the season, during the bye week? Because, like, this has only been done once before, and you're at 7-0.
Yeah. No, I only think about it because I think it's, like, a pretty cool thing, but I don't think of it like, oh, I got to get that record. You know, I think everybody knows that how much I think of our team, and I know it's not, and I think everybody knows that it's not just me. It's not just Davis Alexander that's 7-0. It's Montreal Alouettes. You know, when I'm the starter, right?
Yep.
And you know, our defense is so freaking good. Our special teams is so good, and our receiving core, offensive line, everybody. I mean, I got to tip the cap to everybody. I think it's a super cool deal. Of course, I want the record. You know, everybody wants to be a record holder in some sort, but. It's all about being 1-0, truthfully honest.
Davis, thanks for doing this, man. We look forward to seeing you back on the field on Thursday night, Percival Molson Stadium. All the best going forward, and stay healthy. Okay,
yes,
do me a favor and stay healthy.
Sir.
All right.
Thank
Davis Alexander qui était avec nous aujourd'hui. On revient avec Andrew Woodruff, l'ancien joueur de ligne offensive des Alouettes de Montréal. Merci.
Merci.
He said he wanted to talk about the Sean Lemon. So, because of Danny, I have to ask.
Yeah, I won't comment on it either. That's been advised to me as well, so we just won't comment on him right now. He's not a part of our team just yet. So, but I think everybody that knows us and how we feel about Sean, it hasn't changed.
Can I ask just what it was like to coach him?
He's a great player, a great guy. He's been tremendous in our locker room, and that's why when I say everybody knows how we feel about him, I think it's very obvious how we feel about him. I mean, we had him to the very end till he was suspended, and you know, obviously there's a relationship that's been built over time with him. And again, he's been nothing short of amazing when he's been in our building, and I think everybody would say that to a man.
This is the first time this season that you're going to be playing a team twice. The Argonauts, obviously, they've been struggling lately. What can you take away, from the first game, even though that was 5 weeks?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. I mean, that's the first game of the year for everybody. You never quite know what someone's doing coming out of training camp. You adjust during the game, and those games early, are difficult. They're difficult on everybody because it's your first time going out and doing it. Now we've got some film on everybody, so you kind of get to see what they are. It's going to be a tremendous game. We know it. It's an Eastern opponent. There's stuff on the line for us. If we win the game, we win the series. That's a big deal when you're talking about Eastern opponents. And it's Toronto. I mean, I think everybody in our building understands when we play them, we have to strap it up, and it's going to be a physical, fast football game. And I think we get excited about that. So we're looking for a fight. We're looking for, and not figuratively, but on the field. And we're saying, we know this is going to be a tough football game, regardless of what their record is. I'll throw their record right out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You guys have lost, 2 in a row. Obviously, you want to put an end, to that losing streak. What is something from the last game, the BC game, that you would like to see your football team, do or handle better than they did?
Well, finish. That's bottom line. Finish. I mean, we had opportunities in that game to do it on offense, special teams, defense, to finish the game, and we didn't. So that's collectively, and but I think, when you say win the football game, everybody wants to win every single week. It's what work you put into it, the things that you're doing on a daily basis, on a moment by moment basis. And I think our guys do that. They check the boxes this week. That's why we expect to win. We strap it up. So, we've learned all the lessons we need to learn from the week. We'll apply them to this game, and we'll go out there and give everything we have. We represent, Quebec and Montreal in the 4-2-5, and we do that proudly, and we're going to do it again.
How comforting is it when you're on a 2-game skid but you're adding a player who's never lost?
Well, I mean, that's it's comforting. I'll say that, and that's a good C word, is comfort. But obviously, it's more than a one-man show. And Davis is a piece of our football team. He's an important piece of our football team, but he's also one piece. So everybody collectively around him needs to play well. I think he gives everybody juice. Obviously he's a starter for a reason. He's led our football team from the moment we've assigned him the starter, and he's done nothing but put the work in. He's a tremendous leader, tremendous player. So I think we're excited to have him back. But again, it takes 45 guys on that roster that week, and it took our whole organization to get us prepared for this game. And it's going to be on all of us to win, not just one guy.
If he wins and the Alouettes win, he ties Danny McManus for the streak of 8 games in a row to start a career. Can you relate to what that kind of an achievement?
No, I can't. But I do know Danny Mac was a hell of a quarterback, and obviously just a hell of a player altogether. So tremendous amount of respect. But I have respect for quarterbacks in general, just because I know how hard it is to play in this league and how much work gets put into it. And again, it's a team game. Danny Mac doesn't go 8-0 just by himself. He does it with a Hamilton Tiger Cat team that was extremely good. I believe it was Hamilton. It may have been somebody else. I assume that was it, but maybe not. Either way, I know he had a long career. And obviously Davis, again, I think our football team's very solid. I think it's taken everybody to get him to that position to be mentioned in the same breath as Danny Mac and potentially tie a record like that. I can tell you this, it's probably not on Davis's mind whatsoever, and that's the good thing. So it's just he takes it day by day, play by play, and that's the reason he's been successful. So we're all excited about him getting back in and playing a game.
How much is weather a factor in game planning? I mean, it could rain a lot tomorrow.
Yeah, it's, we talk about being postmen, so it doesn't matter. The postmen always deliver in any kind of weather, inclement or not. Our guys are prepared for anything, and I can guarantee you this, it will not affect them mentally or physically. They'll just go out and play, and they'll be excited, and that's the difference. They're going to be excited about whatever opportunity they get to play tomorrow, in any condition.
You expect more stuff on the ground?
No, all our quarterbacks can throw in the rain, so no, not at all. Our guys do a good job of going out and adjusting during warm-ups to see whether it's glove game or not a glove game, whether they have to catch the ball with their bodies a little bit more. I think that's just kind of, what you do have to adjust to, but our quarterbacks are all ready for it. And, we've practiced in it, we've played in it before. And again, it comes down to a mindset, and our minds are very strong.
Salut tout le monde et bienvenue au PodcAls avec Joe et Alfieri. Écoute, émission très chargée. On vient de parler à Davis Alexander et maintenant, j'ai l'honneur de faire l'intro d'un ancien Alouette, un double champion de la Coupe Grey et tout un joueur de ligne à l'attaque, Monsieur Andrew Woodruff, qui habite à Boise, en Idaho, et on va en apprendre plus sur son histoire parce que ça a été une année très difficile pour lui. Andrew, what's going on, man? It's a pleasure to see you, and how you been?
It's great. It's great seeing you. Thank you for having me on. I've been, I'm looking forward to talking to you for sure. This is great to see you.
So have you not been to Montreal since your playing days? Have you been back at all?
No, I have not been back. I have been back sort of virtually, though. I do love Formula One, so I always want to catch Canadian Grand Prix and catch some Habs games. So I still reminisce, tell stories about Montreal for sure. I do miss it.
Are you a big Ferrari guy?
Yes.
Oh, you are?
Do as
cool.
well as you should. Oh, yeah. Since Michael Schumacher when I was a kid. Yeah. I'm just too big to fit in the car. I think that's why I like it, because it's something I probably can never do.
I like that. I like that. So just before we get into, I know you've had a tough year, and I want to get into your story. I want people to talk to hear what you have to say, but I'm just curious. Like, take you back to those memories, the Grey Cups, playing with Anthony Calvillo, playing with Ben Cahoon, and seeing a lot of great players come by. You yourself being one of them. I'm just curious, like, what memories do you have of those Alouettes teams, and what kind of stands out when you think of those guys?
Yeah, I mean, they were. I was very fortunate to win a lot of Boise State, to have 2 Grey Cups in Montreal, and I think looking back on that, it was the quality and the character of the guys that I was around on those teams. When you talk about Ben Cahoon and Anthony Calvillo, they were, far more veteran players than I was when I got in the CFL, but they had so much humility. Their character was, infallible. They were moral guys. They were accountable, and I think that was a great, example of how to be a pro, but also how to be a man in football and in life. And so I think about Ben Cahoon just being in physically amazing shape. Being, I guess, my age now. I mean, he was in amazing shape. He was dedicated to the game. And AC, he's one of those guys where he had experienced so much adversity before I got in the league, with illness and different things, that to see him persist and to see his commitment and mental toughness and physical toughness were just huge. And I think that those kind of guys were spread throughout the team in different ways. And I think that led us, down a lot of victories into Grey Cups. And so that's what I remember the most, is just the quality of guys and being very fortunate, to be there for that.
Yeah, it was quite a group. It was fun to watch you guys in action, and you guys dominated. You guys had a 15-win season at one point. I mean, it was nuts how dominant you were. I want to get to some football a little bit later on, but just I know a couple months ago you had a major health scare, and we're happy that you're here and you're healthy, and just wanted to bring Alouettes fans and the CFL, people who follow the CFL very closely, just into your situation. Can you explain to us what you've lived the last little while, and how you've progressed here over the last few weeks?
Yeah, for sure. So on May 20th, I suffered an aortic dissection. So basically, where your aorta bursts, and there's cuts throughout it, and so mine tore right next to my heart. There was a 3 centimeter, I guess you call it, like a 3 centimeter cut or opening in my aorta. So, that wasn't looking good for me at all. It was very quick going. Once I got to the hospital, they got me into surgery within, I think, less than an hour of me getting into the ER room. And, the surgeons were amazing. They basically patched me up, sewed my aorta back together to my heart. And, within a couple of days, I was awake and still here. And all odds were against me, honestly, once I found out afterwards that there's only about 3 out of 100,000 people get the same injury that I do. One of those people does pass away. So my odds were very, very, very close. But I had the right people in the right places that did an amazing job on me. And, I've been recovering. It's been amazing recovery considered what I went through. I'm walking around, trying not to push it too hard, because that's my mentality, but, try to take it slow. And, it's definitely changed who I am as a person. It's definitely made me appreciate what I was part of, and definitely looking forward to the future and just making the most of the new life that I have.
Mm-hmm. What's the recovery been like?
It's been the toughest thing that I've ever done. Mentally, it's humbling to go from being the guy that I was. And even up until this, I was lifting very heavy. I was doing strongman lifts in my garage gym, and had plans to maybe go do a Highland Games or different things, and felt, generally pretty good, to having to learn how to walk again, not being able to stand up too fast, not being able to go upstairs. It's definitely humbling, but I've had great family support, friend support, medical staff who's just taking care of me. And so I've had to be patient and really trust them, and listen to my how my body feels, and just be mindful of where I am and each step of the way, and be grateful that, even though it's difficult and I'm not where I once was, I'm still here and I still have life. And, all I can do is make sure that I do it correctly. So I have many years ahead of me.
Mm-hmm. And the rehabilitation process, like how much work, you said it's the hardest thing you've had to do, but I'm just curious how much work you've had to put in, because you look great. I mean, just looking at you now, you look like you could still play.
Well, I'm probably heavy enough to still be on the O-line. That's got to change for one, but I've always been a big guy. I mean, I was just telling my wife, my mother had brought old pictures of me when she came down when I was in the hospital. And I was like, I was about 250, 260 when I was a senior in high school playing rugby. So, I've always been a big guy. But the hardest part about it really is learning how to just manage my exercise, to manage what I put my body through. Like I said, doing strongman and all that kind of stuff, you're going to the max. You're pushing your body as hard as you can. So now it's the mental change of having to just walk at a pace.
Right.
And it's not very fast. That's humbling. And if I go too hard, my blood pressure goes too high, and that won't help me heal. So it's all of those little factors that make it so difficult. Is just being extra mindful about how I treat my body, and just making sure I stay within those new limits that are a lot less than what I used to do.
Yeah, that I can't even imagine how tough that's been. I mean, you mentioned you mentioned to me maybe off air that you just turned 40, right? You were 40
Yep.
the week before the week, so you're a young man and pick physical shape, and it's just I'm sorry that happened to you. It's tough. Alouette Nation is definitely behind you, but we're really glad that you seem to be doing well. Do you pay attention to CFL? Are you still a big CFL guy? I know you're based out of Boise, you're in Idaho, but how much do you still watch?
Oh, I watch every week. I mean, like we talked on off air. I mean, once. Sorry, if I don't know if I'm breaking up a little bit, but I mean, like, I think a new appreciation for the game is something that I have after coming out of the surgery and being able to have CFL Plus. I watch as much as I can. I mean, I don't really have much else to do, so I'm over there watching it. Entire games. If I can watch all of them every week, I will. I'm going to watch the Als tomorrow, and I'm excited for that. And I think that it definitely brings my spirits up a lot to just see how far, how different the game is, but to see the excitement for the game, watching, like I told you, watching games in McGill Stadium, just seeing the fans there and that atmosphere, and seeing people play it, in Saskatchewan, seeing that kind of stadium, and it just brings me back through a lot of great memories. But it's great to see that the game is strong in Canada. And I just wish the best for the Owls. Another great cup this year. That's all I want for those guys to experience what I experienced. For sure.
So, I'll leave you with this favorite memory at Percival Molson Stadium, because the Grey Cups are too easy. But give me your favorite Molson Stadium memory.
Oh my goodness! I think it would have to be. It was one of my early starts. I remember we had black jerseys. We had an alternate jersey.
Yeah.
We had black jerseys. I think we were playing Winnipeg. And I just remember one of the greatest things ever was getting to the stadium. We get super early. We're linemen, right? So me and Scott Flory and Josh Burke, those guys, we get there like 5 hours before the game. Guys are reading papers, we're just hanging out. And the build up to it was knowing that I was going to get a chance to play and prove myself and to solidify a starting spot was great. But I think one of the things that really hit me was after we came in from stretches, and that walk that you take, I don't know if they still do it, but the walk that you take out of that locker room, down through all of those fans, out helmet, and that run to the field, it still gives me goosebumps. That was one of the coolest things that I'd ever experienced, even playing down here in Div 1 and all these huge stadiums, being so close to the fans and seeing the energy of the fans and seeing that love for the game, and just that support for us was something that it sticks with me. And just being there with my brothers, going out and going to war, it was amazing. So that's definitely one of the best memories I have.
They still do it. They walk through that hallway But they don't come out of a helmet anymore. They come out of a cage. So it's like a bird cage, Alouette tree. But everything else is the process is exactly the same. And I've got to be honest with you, as a fan, I've stood there. As a media personality, I've gone to see you guys come out of the tunnel from field level. I mean, it never gets old. It's really a special interaction. Like, you guys are literal gladiators getting ready to go to battle and to put a beat on someone and to take some shots too. And just seconds before that, you guys are out there just giving fans, a little tap in the hands and little high fives here and there. I mean, that's mind blowing to me.
And that's what's great about sport is, like, you can go to that point, right? And we're beating ourselves up. But really, it's about, it's pride in a city, it's pride in a team, and in being that close and connecting with fans, even if it's just for, giving somebody knuckles or whatever it is, it definitely makes you feel like a kid again. It definitely made me feel young again, and just to go and play and put on a good show for the people who've spent their money and their time to be there. So yeah, I agree. It's definitely special.
Andrew, it's great to see you, man. It's good to see that you're doing well and you're doing better and you're up and about. I know that you still have some challenges ahead of you, but I know you're going to tackle them head on, and we're here to support you. I know that your family, your entourage, has set up a GoFundMe page that will link in the wherever. I'll link it on my personal page on X, but we'll also put it in the bio, I guess, of our YouTube post and in the description of this podcast. So anybody that wants to help contribute to Andrew's medical bills and the expenses that he has via this healthcare can do so by following that GoFundMe link. Andrew, it's great to see you. I hope to see you and the family in Montreal in the next couple of years here. And don't hesitate to reach out. You have an open invite on the podcast whenever you like.
Well, I appreciate it. It was great, talking to you the other day, and it's just great being here and being able to show my face and let the let the Als Nation know that I still support them, and I love being part of the team. And those are great years of my life. So look forward to talking to you soon, and hopefully be up there next year.
Absolutely. And I'm happy that you showed your face, because Josh Burke has showed his face on the podcast last year, and you're much better looking than Berkey. So anytime, happy to show your face.
I don't have the height, but at least, I have some decent genetics. So,
Hey, thank you, Andrew.
All right. Thanks.
All right, Andrew Woodruff, joueur de ligne à l'attaque des Alouettes pendant l'ère Calvillo. C'était le fun de le voir. Et c'est fou, à 40 ans, il a un ancien athlète professionnel qui a joué au plus haut niveau dans la NCAA. Il a joué professionnel pour des années et des années à un très haut niveau, qui aurait pu mourir à l'âge de 40 ans. C'est vraiment incroyable. On est vraiment heureux de voir que Andrew est en bonne santé et qui s'en va vers un rétablissement à 100%. Donc, merci à Andrew Woodruff, merci à Davis Alexander, merci à tout le monde qui était sur le podcast. Écoute, écrivez-nous. Est-ce que vous aimez le nouveau look du PodcAls en vidéo? Peut-être vous voulez voir ma face un peu moins souvent. Donc, c'est ça. Écrivez-nous. Dites-nous si vous aimez le podcast en vidéo, et on va sûrement continuer de faire de plus en plus de contenu vidéo avant chaque match. Juste couple de notes avant qu'on vous quitte. Côté Argonauts, Chad Kelly ne sera pas en mesure de jouer ce match-là. Et le bloqueur à droite étoile, Ryan Hunter, était sur, je ne sais pas si c'est une motocyclette, un scooter ou quoi que ce soit, mais il s'est fait frapper par une auto et il s'est blessé à l'épaule. Il est supposé de rater 6 à 8 semaines, donc c'est une grosse perte pour les Argos. Il ne sera pas en mesure de jouer le match de demain contre les Alouettes. Donc, c'est tout côté Argonauts de Toronto. Mais les Alouettes et les Argos s'affrontent au stade Percival Molson à 19h30 jeudi. Si vous n'avez pas vos billets, visitez le goalsgo.com. C'est notre soirée à la plage. C'est beach party. Donc, on va avoir beaucoup de plaisir au stade Percival Molson, et on espère qu'on va parler d'une victoire des Alouettes parce que ça en prend une, c'est 2 défaites de suite, mais je pense que l'équipe est quand même a pu se reposer un peu pendant la semaine de congé, et on va revenir en force contre les Argos demain soir. Merci beaucoup tout le monde. Merci à Sam. Merci à Davis Alexander. Merci à Andrew Woodruff pour être mes invités sur le balado aujourd'hui. Et on se recroise dans une semaine. Bon match, bonne fin de semaine.